let's say I take a completely insane book like Robin
Wow.
DiAngelo's White Fragility, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I once heard a few weeks ago, I heard a British uh, person say, White Fragility is probably the worst book ever written on anything. and, and I can second that. But but it's not so easy to prove. You see, I sat down and I tried to understand what is going on here. What is going on in this book? Why are people raving about it? Why is it in the New York Times bestseller list? Why is it sold 11 million copies? Why does every corporate CEO and board of trustee carry it around and
Mm-hmm.
prominently flaunt having read it or in the process of reading it? That's not so easy to explain all that. And that's what I set out to do in the book. Maybe not explain all of it, but I think I have some insights.
Right. So you're, as I said, you're famous, most famous, I think, for your work on Israel Palestine, but that's not who you are entirely. You've been a leftist, a Marxist, I think, your entire adult life, as I understand it. And so your politics are
I'm a
quite,
person of the,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm a person of the left for sure. That's the tradition I identify with.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tradition I began with. And at the end of my life, it's still the tradition that interests me. In the
Right.
past few months, I've been reading Rosa Luxemburg's works again. I've been reading Leon Trotsky's works again. And I'm very sad, frankly, that my life is coming to an end when I would like to have sat down and reread all of this and to make an assessment. How much of it is useful still? How much of it is not useful? It won't happen. Mentally, I can't do it anymore.
Mm.
I know I can't, and I have to. You have to acknowledge those things. I can't do it anymore,
Right.
but it still remains in my bones, um, and I identify with it. I never was able in my adult life to do much with it, and the reason is simple. I told you, I feel like I was endowed, I won't call it a gift, let's just call it an ability, a capacity. And the capacity is for intense analysis of a limited text.
Mm.
And so when I committed myself or gave myself over to the Israel-Palestine conflict, I had this feeling that I was the only one willing to really go over the human rights documents, to really go over the this voluminous proliferation of propaganda by Israel and its agents. And so I became consumed by it
Mm.
every waking minute of
Mm.
every waking hour of
Mm.
every waking day,
Mm.
going through it. I felt like if I didn't do it, nobody else would. And the result was everything else became secondary in my intellectual life. Um, so the Marxist side, the radical side, the revolutionary side, uh, it suffered as a result. Do I have regrets about that? Yes, to be perfectly honest, I have regrets. But on the other hand, at the time, and it began in 1982. I first became involved when Israel invaded Lebanon in June 1982.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, it felt like it was a worthy investment because people were genuinely suffering. I felt I could make a contribution because of certain capacities that I had. And so I gave myself over to the cause in the full.